You spend $50 on a plush, orthopedically designed pet bed, set it down, and your cat immediately climbs into the discarded shipping box it came in. This boundary-seeking instinct is so intense that in 2017, the internet exploded with the hashtag #CatSquare. People realized that if you simply use tape to mark a two-dimensional shape on the floor, a cat will walk over and sit perfectly inside the lines. To figure out why they do this, we have to look past the fluffy domestic pet and trace their biological hardware directly back to this animal, the African wildcat. For millions of years, the feline body evolved to survive in some of the most unforgiving climates on Earth. They are specifically adapted to hot, arid, open landscapes where hiding spots are incredibly rare. Compare that to a modern human living room. To a desert-adapted animal, our homes are practically refrigerators. They lack natural brush cover, the sight lines are completely exposed, and they are filled with loud, unpredictable activity. Because the modern home is a biologically deficient environment for a desert predator, the cardboard box acts as an artificial environmental patch, fixing the evolutionary mismatch between where they live and what their bodies are built for. Biologists use a metric called the thermoneutral zone. This is the specific temperature range where an animal is perfectly comfortable and expends zero extra metabolic energy to stay warm or cool off. This diagram shows exactly how wide the gap is between us and our pets. While a human's ideal indoor climate sits around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, a domestic cat's thermoneutral zone is between 86 and 97 degrees. The physiological consequence of living in our 70-degree homes is that it constantly requires the cat to generate body heat. Simply existing in your living room is draining the cat's metabolic energy. Corrugated cardboard is structurally built with layers of trapped air, making it a highly efficient insulator. When a cat curls into a tight ball inside a box, they use that insulation to trap their own radiant heat, artificially pushing their local temperature up past that 86-degree threshold. From a thermal perspective, the box is a biological battery saver. It eliminates the metabolic penalty of living with humans. Cats also occupy a tricky spot in the food chain. They are mesopredators. This means they are highly lethal apex hunters to small rodents and birds, but they are physically small enough to be vulnerable targets for larger carnivores. Since their paws aren't built to excavate their own dens in the hard earth, they have to be opportunistic. In the wild, they steal abandoned burrows dug by foxes or aardvarks to protect their flanks while they sleep. To your cat, an Amazon shipping box is a pre-excavated den. It provides a solid 360-degree physical barrier, cutting off the possibility of a rear ambush and allowing their brain to shut down for deep, restorative rest. But a box also satisfies the offensive half of the mesopredator equation. Since cats lack the stamina for long-distance pursuits, they use enclosed spaces as hunting blinds to conceal their silhouettes before launching explosive ambush-style attacks. The box perfectly resolves the Mesopredator's paradox. It functions as both an impenetrable defensive fortress and a lethal sniper's nest. There is a profound psychological component to this behavior as well. Ethologist Claudia Vink at Utrecht University proved this by studying cats newly admitted to animal shelters, which are chaotic, high-stress environments. This chart plots out the cat's stress score over a 2-week quarantine period. The researchers found that cats provided with a hiding box experienced a significantly faster drop in stress compared to the control group that was deprived of one. Felines lack the social conflict resolution strategies that pack animals have. Their primary biological mechanism for coping with a stressful environment is simply to hide. By day 7, the cats with boxes had reached a stable, relaxed state, while the exposed cats were still highly agitated. Squeezing into a container that looks 2 sizes too small also activates a tactile response called deep touch pressure. Feeling the physical boundaries of a tight box pressing against their fur actually slows down the cat's nervous system. We observe this exact same calming mechanism in much larger animals. When agitated cattle are tightly secured in padded livestock restraint chutes, the broad lateral pressure across their bodies quickly sedates them. Cardboard boxes serve as a critical psychological release valve, preventing the chronic stress that can otherwise suppress a cat's immune system. So the cardboard box is actually a temperature-controlled thermal buffer, a tactical ambush point, and a clinical stress reducer. Feline visual processing is so tuned to these boundaries that cats will even respond to illusory contours. This susceptibility to optical illusions means they perceive a simple square on the floor as a symbolic sanctuary, treating a visual perimeter the same biological gravity as a physical box. Every discarded shipping box functions as a highly efficient, multifunctional ecological niche. When you see your cat wedging itself into a tiny square of corrugated paper, you are witnessing millions of years of solitary desert survival programming adapting perfectly to the modern world. So the next time you get a delivery, leave the empty box on the floor. It is the absolute easiest way to give the desert predator in your living room exactly what its biology demands.